Hey everyone, welcome to class 4C. We have our quadruped, so hands and knees, progression class, and we're going to work through some bird dog variations. So come on to hands and knees, you don't need any props. Stacking shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. Okay, so for this whole practice, I want you to pretend you had a glass of water on your back and you don't want that water to spill in any direction. So things that we're going to avoid is arching, rounding, shifting hips one way or another, opening up to the side with our pelvis one way or another. Okay, couple things you can do to kind of cue this. I'll show you what the end movement is going to look like. A bird dog is where you're nice and stable through your core and you're lifting opposite arm and leg. Okay, now if you want to avoid that lateral shift of your hips, place a foam roller right on the very outside of your hip. And this will be a nice cue for you to avoid doing that and tipping it over. So if you have that here, you're more likely to keep your pelvis nice in line and just extend at the limbs instead of tilting to the side. So that is a prop you could use in this class. And you could also use a block for that. Okay, so I'm going to move this because I need to extend my legs. We have a couple ways to progress to the final bird dog. First, come into hands and knees, breathe in, back of the rib cage fills up, down to the pelvic floor. And exhale, find that contraction that we worked on with our TVA and our inner thighs. And you can just lift one arm, one hand off the mat, tapping opposite shoulder. Okay, and then try the other side, tap your other shoulder. See if you can maintain that nice steady midsection, gaze down, avoiding that bread loafing appearance. If all went well with that, your next progression is to lift one knee just slightly off the mat. And then lower it back down, try the other knee. Okay? If that goes well, if we're avoiding the tipping or the arching, we can start to lift opposite arm and leg, but don't really extend forward yet. Take a breath in. Exhale, push the ground away. Engage your core. And then we're going to tap left hand to right shoulder as we lift our right knee just an inch from the mat. Okay, see if you can hold here for an in-breath. And exhale, let it go. Breathe in. Breathe out, push the ground away. Create that steady shape. Lift your right hand to your left shoulder as you lift your left knee just a couple inches from the mat. Breathe in here. Breathe out, let it go. Okay, now the longer we make our limbs, the longer our lever arm is, the harder this is going to be. So if you're ready to progress, we will start to extend. So of course you can just extend one arm at a time and see how that goes and one leg. But if you're ready, we're going to lift opposite arm and leg. So breathe in. Breathe out. Pelvic floor, core hugged in nice and tight. Extend your right leg long and your left hand forward. Okay, that glass of water is on our back. We're not tipping or letting it spill. Breathe in, find some length here. Breathe out, lower back down. Okay, inhale, reset. Exhale, push the ground away. Find engagement of your core. Lift your left heel back and your right hand forward. Stay here for an in-breath. Exhale, let it go. Okay, the goal is to hold this end shape for at least 1 to 2 breaths. So try to practice 2 breaths on each side continuously without resetting. Okay, see how the other side goes. Can you hold those 2 breaths nice and steady? Look at your hip bones. Is your left pelvis in line with your right pelvis? If all of that feels pretty good, we can progress one more step, which is to tuck your toes and hover your knees off the mat. This is definitely quite a bit harder, so by all means, definitely master the first version first. And you know what, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with the knee hover. You can always give it a try and see how it goes. Breathing in, breathe out, push the ground away, tuck your toes, hover your knees. Okay, from here, close your eyes, make sure everything is nice and stable, and then see about lifting opposite arm and leg. Lower back down. That one's very challenging to stay in a stable posture. Reset. Exhale, push the ground away, tuck your toes, hover your knees, and then lift other side. I like to start with my leg and then add in my arm. Hold for breath. And exhale, lower back down. So like I said, that is not necessarily a required progression, but if you're trying to be like super stable, super ninja, definitely something to work on. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.